depends what level of this we want to talk about at any point. You know, what we've been talking about up to this point in the program is the fact that there are pedophiles and Satanists who sacrifice and abuse children, right? But it goes much wider than that, because these people are possessed. The Satanism and the satanic rituals that they go through, and the secret society rituals too, although most Freemasons don't know it, are designed to create vibrational connections between the people involved and these demonic entities. I would say overwhelmingly take a reptilian form, but not only. And the idea is for these demonic entities operating just outside of visible light to possess the pedophile, the Satanists, and take over their mental and emotional, what passes for their emotional processes. And what these demonic entities are is totally and utterly devoid of empathy. They do not have the power to empathize with the consequences for the others of their actions. We talk about cold-blooded. Well, reptiles are cold-blooded, and these people are cold-blooded. And so what they do, and what we're looking at overwhelmingly with these people, their hybrid bloodlines have been specifically bred to be much more genetically connected to the possessing entity, therefore vibrationally connected. And what these entities do is they feed off human energy, and they particularly want the energy of children before puberty, because there is an energetic and chemical change, quite obviously, that happens at puberty, and they want the energy before that happens. And this is why when you look at all these ancient accounts and ancient stories and legends, they talk about sacrificing young virgins to the gods. Now, these entities are perceived as the gods, these demonic entities. And the young virgin thing is actually just a symbol for children. That's what the young virgins were, and are children, because they want this prepubescent energy. So what happens is, if you like, and I hesitate to use the word because it's hardly appropriate, the human level of these people is stimulated to desire sex with children and to desire to harm children and get a big kick out of it. Ted Heath did. I mean, I wouldn't even begin to go into what this guy did, but all the others are the same. But he was a really extreme version of it. Anyway, what's happening is, while the children are being abused, while the pedophile is having sex with them, and even I found this that even when it's girls, often it's anal sex that these people have with them. They are connecting into on the energetic level the base chakra, the base vortex of their human energy field. And what they're doing is the demonic entity is then, through the conduit of the, quote, human level, they are sucking the life force, the prepubescent pure energy out of the child into themselves. They're vampiring the child's energy and fundamentally destabilizing them energetically and therefore mentally and emotionally. That's what's going on at a deeper level.
Do you think that it means that all people who are involved, if we specifically talk about the Hollie case again, have these non-human traits, or do you think that some people of these in these scenarios are human as well, but they just might be attracted to the, who knows, the power? There could even be drugs involved there, or who knows how the setting is, so to speak, there. But generally, do you think it's all non-human, or is it a potential mix, so to speak, here we're looking at?
Well, I think when you're dealing in all possibility, then it's never only one thing. It's never only this. It's never all that. Yeah. So you will have people who just get attracted to it for some reason. But the major players are these possessed people. And what do you need, Henrik, to abuse a child, to rape a Down syndrome girl like Hollie Greig, to rape little children and frighten them to death, to torture them and get a kick out of it, what do you need? You need an absolutely deleted ability to empathize. You have no power, connection to feel what you're doing to someone else. You're just completely and utterly cold. Now, this starts to explain other things, from a wider point of view. This is how it's possible for these people, like Blair and Bush, to send the boys in to pepper bomb Baghdad from the sky, to use depleted uranium in the weapons that create horrific birth defects that take the breath away when you see them in Iraq now, that lead to millions of people being either killed or maimed or having their lives destroyed forever in this life anyway. This is the mentality. These are the possessed people that are pepper bombing the Gaza Strip using phosphorus weapons that burn people alive. These are the people orchestrating 9/11 so that 3,000 people die to justify killing even more in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is the mentality. And, I've been saying for years to people, do not, please, if you want to know what's going on, do not judge what these people would do by what you would do, because they're not like you.
Right.
You say they'd never do that. No, you would never do that. They do, and they do it all the time. So because they have this lack of empathy in any way, shape, or form, they can orchestrate the world to cause mayhem. They want to cause mayhem. That's the aim. They want to cause suffering. They want to cause suffering in the child and the children that they abuse and sacrifice and torture because they get a kick out of it. They want mayhem in the world in general by manipulating the banking and economic system and wars and suffering of various kinds. They want that because they get a collective kick out of that. They want the mayhem. It's not a mistake. Oh, look what they've done now. How silly. Look what's happened now. They wanted it to happen. And by understanding the mentality that we're dealing with, sheer, bloody, unadulterated evil, which appropriately is life written backwards, that's what we're dealing with. That's why we have the world that we have today. And that's why we've got to grow up, wake up, get the bum off the sofa, get the I'm just little me, what can I do, out of your bloody mind, and let's start sorting this, because we've got to grow up and be adult and start to address this, because the consequences of not doing so in the not too distant future will be potentially horrific if we don't. But people are beginning to, and that's magnificent news.
Absolutely, and hopefully there are a lot of people joining, both Hollie, Anne and Robert as well. I know that they have a lot of events coming up, primarily now around UK. But it seems to me then that these cases are blooming up, so to speak, in various parts of the world at different times. It's almost like there is always one place in the world where it's currently being a little bit exposed, if you know what I mean. It's been in Portugal before, in Belgium, as you mentioned before. It's been up here in Sweden back in the 70s. It's bloomed up a year or so ago. It's been in Mexico, if I didn't mention that before. America, obviously, as you say, but it never takes root, so to speak. It never really blooms, and the major connections are made. They are made by people like you, of course, and people who are following your work, and other researchers who can figure this stuff out. But the trick here, so to speak, the difficult part, what we're faced with, is to get the dots connected for the people who are also coming to it for just running across this in the alternative media, or eventually, hopefully, down the road in the regular media as well, and begin to connect all these dots, because that's essential as well in this place, because otherwise it's just another little incident that just, oh shit, that was not good, happened up in Scotland, but I guess it's over now, and then we're back to sleep again, and that's the danger here, David.
Yes, it is, and that's why we've got to keep shouting loudly about this case. We've got to pursue justice for Hollie Greig and her wonderful, wonderful mother, Anne. I've never met them, but I've heard them on the radio and stuff, and I've never met Robert Greene, though I keep meaning to have a chat with him. I'll do it shortly. But they are such wonderfully committed, genuine,